So using your lathe with a 3/8 tapered burr, or perhaps maybe an egg burr, either a large egg burr or a smaller one, you can now start trimming the land area of the cast just to shape it a little bit better. So on high speed, start on one side and then make your way around. And leave about 1 millimeter or so of depth, so it's a little bit less than the master cast, which requires about 2 to 3. So I'm going to clean that all the way around. Taper it down here. That looks pretty good. And I'll do the same thing with the lower. Take away this little ledge here because that's going to prevent the denture from sitting on the cast, and you might have a hard time removing it. Now on the lingual side, it's a little challenging to do with a tapered burr, so I'm going to finish it with the egg burr. But before I switch over, I'm just going to shape this back portion of the cast. Make sure that you don't trim this portion too thin on the model trimmer, because you won't have any stone to trim here. It's a lot easier to do it here, and it's a lot safer versus the model trimmer. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'll finish off the lingual portion of the lower cast by using my large egg burr. You want to be doing this over a vacuum. I'm not using the vacuum just so I don't have any background noise for the video, but certainly you want to be doing this over a vacuum. Just going to blow off the excess stone away just to get a better look. And just going to go over it one more time here. This burr is a little bit smoother than the other one. And since the denture is not in the way anymore, gives me a little more forgiveness to trim it a little bit smoother. Okay. So lastly, what you want to do is take a little bit of wax remover and clean off the wax residue from the dentures. Same thing on the lower. So again, don't use any hot water here because it's going to distort the acrylic bases here. And of course, we will put this in the ultrasonic for about 5 minutes, get all the residue off, and spray it with some surface disinfectant, and put it back on our casts. And we're ready for our insertion appointment. So, see how everything fits back on here. I'll just move over to the document camera. Get a better look. So we have our maxillary denture here. And what I like about the lab putty is that it utilizes the undercuts. So when you end up putting your denture back on here, it holds it so it doesn't fall off when you have it mounted. And same thing on the lower. Shouldn't have any undercuts. Maybe a little bit more back here. I need to trim off this little bit. This always gets in the way. And a little bit here too. Just blow that off a little bit. And place it back on the cast and see how it fits. Should have a nice snug fit. Everything is nice and secured. So when we hold the casts together with our dentures on them, we shouldn't have any interference back here at all, just like before. And everything looks nice and parallel. Both bases look parallel, and they both look parallel to the plane of occlusion. And of course, the last little bit, you want to put some keyways on the back of the models and have the upper model mounted to the articulator, and that'll get you ready for your insertion appointment.